I think it's the same.
Okay. And so that seems to be a true and accurate representation of your house, maybe in May or roughly thereof in 2020?
Yes.
Okay. Your Honor, at this time the state tender states 126 in the evidence.
No objection.
No objection.
No objection, Your Honor.
It's admitted.
Mr. English, is this your property at 220 Satilla Drive?
Yes.
Okay. And at any point during the construction of your home, did you have any sort of fencing around either the house or the property line itself?
No.
Okay. What about your neighbors? Did they have any fencing going up?
There's a fence on the right and the left side from, say, approximately the middle to the back of my home
Mm-hmm.
to the back of their property.
And if we're looking at this photograph, states 126, to the left or to the right of this photograph?
The left and the right
Okay.
has a fence going across the back.
All right. But nothing encapsulating the property itself?
No.
Okay. And at any point up till this photograph, did you have any signs like no trespassing signs or keep off the property or anything like that?
No.
Did this construction site at around this time and before this, did it have any sort of plumbing or water source or electricity or anything like that?
Yes. At this point, there was a temporary faucet to the right of that porta potty. And then at the back of the property, there's a dock and a boat hoist that had a faucet back there also on the upland part of it, not down at the dock, but on the upland part before you walk down to the dock.
And then what about electricity?
No, just a temporary service pole on the left corner of the property that you can't see in this photo.
And when you came to do work on this house, because you did say you took over the general contracting job of the house itself, right?
I did.
Do you remember around when you did that?
It would have been when the roof got put on it, it would have been at plywood stage and fell on top of it, no windows, no doors, just plywood on the exterior walls, plywood on the top.
Okay, and was that in 2019 or 20 that you started taking over, roughly?
I couldn't remember.
You couldn't remember? Okay. And when you came down to work on it, where did you stay?
I got a camper. I've had two different campers in the backyard that you can't see in this photo.
And you had electricity running through those campers?
Yes, they come off the temporary service pole and there was a wire run to the back there that services the boat hoist.
Before y'all constructed this this portion of the house, or this level of construction, when you first bought the property, what was it?
It was just a vacant lot, pretty much what you see, just a grass lot. The neighbors kept it mowed and clean, and there was an old dock there and a little small upland building that had steps that went down to the fixed dock.
And do you know anything about the use of this lot from people in the neighborhood in the past?
What I know about it, the neighbor on the right-hand side, Brad Butler, they had some kind of party once or twice a year, Christmas party or something of that nature. They would use it to park some of the overflow of their party guests. And then the left neighbor, Kenny Wade, would park boat trailers, boats, different stuff of that nature there. And I think maybe the kids might have played over there some.
At some point after you purchased the property and started doing construction on it, did you get worried about liability in any way? About people coming on and off?
Yes, once we constructed a new dock and boat hoist, I don't remember exactly what stage the home was at that point. probably in the earlier stages. Mr. Wade contacted me and mentioned that he thought he had seen the boys from across the street, maybe over there playing. And that concerned me for a couple of reasons. I mean, more or less for their safety rather than somebody stealing something, because the water on the outgoing tide is very swift there. It can be very dangerous. So at that point, I got some cameras put up to kind of keep an eye on it.
What type of cameras were these?
They're called Blink. They notify you of Cellphone.
Do you remember roughly the year that you started putting these cameras up?
No.
Would it have been before 2020?
Yes.
Now tell me about these cameras. When they first started coming up, where did you first start putting them?
I first started putting them down at the dock area. The best I can recall, there might have been one in the very back of the house, because we had to use a camper as a location to put the module that made the cameras work. And it only worked for so many feet away, so it focused on the dock and maybe one at the rear of the house. I'm not 100% sure. There was two stages of cameras. One, the first stage was on the dock and maybe the rear of the house.
And were the cameras themselves hooked up hardwired to anything, or were they battery operated? How did they run?
They're wireless with batteries.
Do you know how often you had to change out the batteries?
About once a year. It depends on how much action you have on it as to how long the batteries last.
And you said that the connection between the cameras and the module, I think you had mentioned you wanted to start with them closer to the module, so if they were further out, would they not connect to the module?
No, they won't. If you get too far away from the module, the cameras won't pick up.
Did the efficiency of these cameras, or how well they worked, did it get adjusted by time of day, internet usage, or anything of that sort that you know of?
Repeat the question, please.
How well the cameras worked? Were they contingent on anything like internet usage or strength of internet?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. If it was a high usage part of the day, sometimes they wouldn't process as fast.
At some point, did these cameras go up anywhere else on the property?
Yes.